Dear beautiful and radiant viewers, welcome to the 32nd episode of Art and Dharma, where we will talk about the connections or interplay between art and Dharma. My name is Victor Gabriel and I'm a lecturer at Sakya Buddha University in Santa Ana, California. You can reach me through my email awake.star.sky@gmail.com. In episode 33, I would like to discuss the Wangdu, their iconography, their role in Buddhist cosmology, their devotional practices, and significance. This episodes 31 and 32, are based on artworks that are used in meditation practices. Wangdu is a common abbreviated title of a prayer that is called the Great Cloud of Blessings, the prayer that magnetizes all that appears and exists. This prayer was written in 1879 by Mipam Rinpoche, whose dates are 1846 to 1912. The artwork shown here is based on the tanka that was commissioned by Khenpo Jigme Phuntsok, a Tibetan teacher that revived Buddhist education in Tibet. He lived from 1933 to 2004. He asked a famous artist to paint it. This tanka is known as the 9 yidams or 9 meditational deities. There are alternate versions of this painting. The Wangdu is a hidden teaching of Padmasambhava Guru Rinpoche. More about Padmasambhava can be seen in episode 13, which was revealed by Terton Lerop Lingpa, Khenpo Jigme Phuntsok's previous reincarnation. The Wangdu prayer was composed by Mipam Rinpoche. The main objects of supplication in the Wangdu prayer are these 9 meditation deities, each surrounded by an assembly of other countless deities that are not depicted. Here is the Wangdu prayer. Om Ah Hong Hri. Within the magnetizing palace of the blazing great bliss are the kayas of discriminating awareness wisdom, bliss emptiness, each on a lotus, its nature bliss beyond attachment, and on a Vajra sun, the splendor of great appearance, Dhammakaya, Amitabha, Vajradhara, Vajradharma, a form of Abhitava, Lokeshvara, another name for Kuan Yin, the embodiment of compassionate care, Padma Raja, the master of samsara and nirvana, the great powerful Haruka, a reference to a powerful form of Kuan Yin, subjugator of the phenomenal world, Guyajana, Vajravahi, both forms of Prajna Paramita, and the king of desire, supreme bliss, treasury of great bliss, a reference to Chakrasamvara and Kurukula, cultivating the minds of all beings without exception. These sovereigns of supreme and ordinary mudras are the dance of bliss emptiness, the assembly of magnetizing Vajra, Dakas, and Dakinis within the great equality of appearance emptiness, swaying the 3 worlds with the dance of the Vajra body, summoning the 3 realms with the laughter of unceasing speech, pervading all samsara and nirvana with red light rays, moving and gathering the pure essence of existence and peace. With a mind of great Vajra passion, you bestow the 2 cities, the supreme of all that we desire, with great Vajra iron hooks and lassos. You bind the phenomenal world into great bliss. Playful dance of boundless net of miraculous display, hosts of magnetizing deities of the infinite 3 roots. As numerous as a sesame seed from an open pot, we supplicate you with devotion. grant us your blessings. Bestow the supreme and ordinary siddhis, and the siddhi that accomplishes without obstruction the glory of all that we desire. According to Khenpo Namdro, this prayer is called that which brings within one's power all that appears and all that exists. It goes by such a name because if you make this prayer fervently, you will be able to magnetize or bring within your power the phenomena of the entire universe. This comprises both the inanimate environment and the animate inhabitant sentient beings. This prayer does not just refer to magnetizing the outer environment, but it also refers to taming our own mind. Transforming our mind is the most important aspect of the Wangdu. Practicing Wangdu brings more vividness to the mind. There are 9 meditational deities invoked in this prayer. The central deity is Padmasambhava as the Lotus King Padma Gyalpo. We can see more about Padmasambhava in episode 13. Above that is Vajradharma and Amitabha. Both are forms of Amitabha. And Avalokiteshvara of Kuan Yin at the top right, Hayagriva is on the top left. Below is Guyajana, the Dakini on the right side of the Lotus King, and Vajravahi on the left side of the Lotus King. Kurugala is on the bottom right, as well as the King of Chakrasamvara as King of Desire on the bottom left. Propagation. The Wangdu was promoted in the 19th and 20th century. The Wangdu is a very powerful practice and actually a very sacred practice, so much that some Nyingma Lamas guard it as something quite secret and do not reveal the practice of Wangdu. Previously, the Wangdu prayer and flag was not distributed and was considered secret or perhaps too personal. During the 1980s, Khenpo Jigme Phuntsok flew many Wangdu prayers around his monastery of Larongga. In a private conversation with many other Tibetan teachers, Khenpo Jigme Phuntsok shared that he felt that all his work in Tibet was thanks to practicing the Wangdu. The following is a summary of a commentary on the Wangdu by Ogen Tubgel Rinpoche. There is one way, and it's possible for people like us to magnetize all that appears and exists by bringing the outer world that appears and the sentient beings who exist within the outer world under control by invoking the magnetizing deities and receiving their blessings. The magnetizing deities are the deities shown in the Wangdu. By bringing all that appears and exists under your control, you will be able to direct your mind and wind energy. Once you are in control of your mind and wind energy, you can actualize wisdom and so reach the state of enlightenment. One of the side effects of this practice is that you will be able to influence ordinary, adverse circumstances and transform them into positive ones. For example, by bringing all suffering under control, you will then be able to transform it and bring about happiness. Om Ahong Ri. The prayer begins with Om Ahong Ri, which represents the enlightened body, speech, mind, and wisdom of all the victorious ones of all the Buddhas, to whom we offer praise. Although it appears the last Ri is the main syllable and represents the natural radiance of the wisdom of discernment. In this prayer, great bliss refers to the 5 wisdom, specifically the wisdom of discernment, and blazing indicates that the great bliss is not small, that it burns with an intensity of a raging inferno at the end of time. This palace, which actually is the union of great bliss and emptiness, and the natural radiance of the wisdom of discernment, is the home of the magnetizing deities. Within this palace, the dynamic energy of union of bliss and emptiness and the wisdom of discernment arises various manifestations of wisdom. The wisdom deities. Blazing great bliss, the palace of magnetizing activity, is therefore the authentic Dharmakaya of the Buddha and the ground from which all phenomena arise. In this prayer, there is not even the suggestion of ordinary attachment. Yet, although there is not the slightest attachment, the natural radiance of the energy of great bliss manifests as lotus, which in this case means the deities of the lotus family, the family of Amitabha, whose main activity is magnetizing. Emptiness, which is like a Vajra, is compared to the glorious radiant sun, which emanates infinite light rays that emulate all trace of darkness. In the same way, the bliss body or the bliss realm continually manifests many forms of emanations throughout time and space to accomplish the well-being of all beings. There is something very profound to be understood there. According to Tibetan Buddhism, all the Buddhas or victorious ones produced the glorious Hayagriva and Vajravarahi, who then relied on the skillful means, free from attachment, and alienated and liberated ego or Rudra. They scattered the remains of Rudra's body throughout the world's 64 power places, 24 sacred places, 32 sacred lands, and 8 great charnel grounds. Each place is guarded by a chief Daka and Dakini, who are emanated by Vajravarahi and Hayagriva. As their mandalas have not been dissolved, each place continues to be guarded and preserved as the sacred fields of profound Dharma. These qualities of profound Dharma fields of mandalas are such that throughout the power and blessing of the Dakas and Dakinis, by visiting just one of them, we will be blessed to become members of the Daka family, and we can become blessed to become members of the Dakini family. This mandala is still intact, and this is why its blessings are said to be swift and powerful. When these deities move their Vajra bodies in all sorts of dance movement, the worlds in the 3 realms of existence are stirred into motion. In our physical world, all movement and change are actually brought about solely by mind. Mind is constantly moving and observes all kinds of perceptible arising. When these deities perform a specific dance, that dance initiates movement and change throughout the worlds in the 3 realms of existence: desire, form, and formless. The resounding laughter in the prayer means that absolutely all sound, those produced by the nature, winds in the 5 elements on the environmental level, those produced by sentient beings who live within that environment. The nature of all sounds is the natural sound of enlightened speech, which resounds continuously and unceasingly throughout the 3 worlds and summons the 3 realms. Within this prayer, we imagine the enlightened minds of all the deities of the mandala in the form of rays of light that pervade samsara and nirvana. This red light is the wisdom light and is often said to be like space. The light is red because of the wisdom of discernment, and that it pervades all samsara and nirvana, penetrating every nook and cranny. Space can accommodate the contents of the entire universe, including the Mount Meru and the continents that make up the millions of world systems, as well as the beings who live within that universe. Space is everywhere, and like space, the expanse of primordial wisdom is everywhere and can also accommodate all samsara and nirvana. When the enlightened blessings of body, speech, and mind are conferred in this way, the result is a sort of miracle. All the pure, vital essence of existence and peace, the Buddhas who abide in nirvana, are stirred and quickened. When milk is churned, butter is produced and can then be collected. Similarly, by churning samsara and nirvana, pure vital essence of all that appears and exists can be collected. The vital essence of samsara and nirvana has been gathered in the enlightened mind, the supreme Vajra passion for sentient beings. The enlightened mind arises from the dynamic energy of emptiness and is passionate about wanting to help sentient beings. Enlightened mind then benefits beings by giving everything they have ever wished for, most importantly, the supreme and ordinary siddhis. At the same time, we can pray for ordinary accomplishments, including the 4 activities of pacifying, enriching, magnetizing, and subjugating, and the 8 accomplishments, which are lesser accomplishments, like the ability to see through solid matter, fleet-footedness, the ability to become invisible, to fly, and so on. We pray that the deities grant us everything that we need, wish for, and desire, without any difficulties arising. We couldn't wish for or pray for anything more than the supreme and ordinary accomplishments. There is nothing better. Among the siddhis we pray for are all the minor accomplishments, like having a long life, becoming rich, becoming physically beautiful, having a beautiful voice, enjoying good health, free from illness, and so on. What to do while reciting the Wangdu prayer? Imagine the space in front of you, the palace of the magnetizing activity, a conflagration of blazing red light. Meditate on the image and imagine all these deities. To learn what these deities look like, their faces, hands, ornaments, clothing, and so on, by looking at the tanka and doing your best to imagine them, how they are presented here. The most important aspect of this imagination are the dance of the Vajra bodies of the deities, which stirs the 3 planes of existence. The deities' enlightened speech, which is graced by the melodious qualities of Brahma's voice, the blazing red light. As you meditate, don't just think about the deities named in the prayer. Imagine a vast throng of countless deities filling the palace like seeds in a sesame pod, an uncountably vast number of deities like the rays of the sun, beyond imagining, and for example, every pore of each deity is a world of endurance, a triclosm of Buddha fields. The deities should be vividly present, joyfully happy, and laughing as they rejoice at all the benefit they bring to sentient beings. Today we have talked about the Wangdu, their iconography, their role in Buddhist cosmology, their devotional practices and significance. If you like this episode, please write to me at wake.star.sky@gmail.com. Tell me what you like, what you enjoyed, and what you would like to see more of. You can also submit artwork that you want me to comment about. Thank you.